Hello everyone and welcome to the new video. Today I will be playing through Dark Souls 3 for the first time in my life, finally. So, first time ever in my Soulspawn playthrough, this will be more or less blind playthrough. Dark Souls 1 and 2 I had both beat them once before making the videos out of them. You should check those videos out as well to see how I fared with those games. But for Dark Souls 3 I don't have much of a plan, even less than I had with the Dark Souls 2. I googled real quick what would be the best class to start the game for a noob like me, and I chose to start the game with the Knight. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, after quick character creation, I start from the tutorial area of the game, which is very straightforward. Some weak enemies here to learn the controls and get used to the game. I don't think this area will have anything difficult, so let's just breeze through to get to the actual game. That crystal lizard does look pretty strong though. Right, have to get good again. I don't know if this lizard is a mandatory thing to beat, but my pride would not allow me to give up on beating it. Anyway, up ahead we got first bonfire to kindle. Then some more weak enemies and dead end? I guess I'll have to pull this sword out of the statue or whatever this is. Wait, why do I hear boss music? Damn, I am rusty with Soulspawn games. Been a bit since I played the Dark Souls 2. After a while I start to get used to avoid this boss's hits and get some hits in as well. But of course this boss transforms in the middle of the fight to whatever this is. Somehow, and trust me, I don't know how, I still beat the boss barely on the first try. Intense start to the game if nothing else. Then I beat some more enemies, search for any loot I can find, and then I enter Firelink Shrine? As in the Firelink Shrine from Dark Souls 1? I don't know, this does not look like the same place. Anyway, we got a Firekeeper here and couple other friendly NPCs as well. Apparently Firekeeper wants me to collect some souls for her. Well, I'm not sure what's in it for me, but I guess I'll do that. We also got this old lady as a merchant, and then we got Andre? Same Andre as in Dark Souls 1? Now I'm getting even more confused. Anyway, let's keep searching to find a way to progress forward. I run around the Firelink Shrine a bit, find a guy who almost kills me, and only after that I realize I have to stick a sword here to create a bonfire. Wait, I can create bonfires? Anyway, apparently from this bonfire I can also just teleport to new areas, so off we go. I find myself at High Wall of Lothric. Running around I find pretty easy to deal with enemies, a freaking dragon, and after a while I die. Next attempt the dragon actually proves useful by incinerating my enemies. After stumbling a while I found another bonfire. I also end up finding a couple cool things like Estus Shard and Cell Key, which probably allows me to free that guy from the cell. No idea if that is a good idea, but we will see I guess. For now though, I go level up a bit and upgrade my Estus with that Estus Shard. So, I go free the guy from the cell and he gives me like a side quest I guess. He wants me to get a ring to some lady. So I happily accept the request and move forward. After a while I notice I have come full circle back to the first bonfire. It works fine as I was able to open a locked door that works now as a shortcut to move forward. And then I encounter my first boss fight, Ward of the Boreal Valley. He looks scary, but it's kinda easy in the end. He's very slow at first, so his attacks are kinda easy to dodge. But after a while he covers himself with some blue magical power and goes berserk. He becomes much faster and inflicts a frostbite status on me. Battle starts to get hairy, but I pull some next level panic skills out of my butt to somehow beat this boss first on the first try as well. I am absolutely flabbergasted of how well this is going so far. Bonfire appears after beating the boss. Up ahead a text appears which says raise banner. When I click A it just says no banner in inventory, so I guess I have to find this banner first from somewhere. Well, it does not take long to find this lady who actually gives me the banner. With that I raise the banner and this demon bat things comes and takes me to new area, the Undead Settlement. Immediately someone let the dogs out and they kill some undead folk. I take care of the doggies and start searching the area. I end up finding one of those weird looking guys actually alive, and he then offers to join my side. Well, I gladly accept and he then teleports away, assumingly to the Firelink Shrine. Anyway, I move on to the settlement itself and find the next bonfire. Then I start taking out enemies and moving forward. It goes all very smoothly until this lady here, who gets me stuck against the wall and beats me to death. Very nice. Next time, I just ignore the big lady enemy and just dash forward to find next bonfire. And here we have some enemies and... oh, that's gonna hurt. Yep, these spears hurt a lot. Well, nothing to it than just dash through. This place looks like a boss area. I skip that for now and instead move a little bit forward to find new bonfire. From here I go back where those undead were worshipping something. I don't know what these guys are doing, but they are easy to take out. Just a couple more and... Oh, well, hello there! So yeah, I ended up in a boss fight which triggered much quicker than I thought it would. This thing seems to take barely any damage. Wait a second. Do I have to hit it to its... Yeah, of course its weakness is its nutsack. Suddenly, the whole floor collapses and now some extra arm has appeared from the boss. I keep on fighting for a good while, but alas, I am not strong enough. Second attempt goes about the same, but on the third try I managed to squeeze in the victory. All it took was reckless charge to certain death, nothing to it. Moving ahead, we have one dead end, one short sewer with rats and one big rat, which leads back to previous bonfire and the actual way forward. During my exploration I find a pyromancer who offers to teach me pyromancy if I would want that, some other dude who does not to be too keen to me, and then Siegfried? Same Siegfried from Dark Souls 1? Well anyway, he seems to want to go up to tower, but the lift here goes downwards. Down here we have this mini-ward who kicks my butt quickly. Okay, let's go try again. Wait, where are we going up now? Up in the tower we meet the giant who was throwing spears at us before. He actually is friendly though and gives me some item. Then I find Siegfried again, this time looking at this big monster thing down below, thinking how to get through it. Never fear, my friend. Together we shall vanquish the beast. Onwards to battle, charge! Let's try that again. Wait, the lift is going now down again. You know, this is starting to get a little bit old. So, I assume that lift changes direction every time I die, so next I can go try fight that big monster again with Siegfried. Let's go see. This time we take out the monster. We celebrate with Siegfried and he decides to then take a nap. So relatable. I continue forward to explore this area and find myself in dead end. Or is it a dead end? Looks like I can get to this tower here. Then I just need to land this jump. This means I'm fighting the mini-ward once again, but this time I beat it and find new bonfire. So I guess this is the right way then. Let's explore ahead. These weird birdman enemies are crazy though. I move on ahead a little, taking them out one by one, but then bunch of them runs at me and kills me quickly. For now, I decide to take a little bit of time to grind some levels to get strength to 22, so I could equip this big ass club to use. Also this time I'm able to get down from this tower safely where I find some gear and a ring. After a while I get the strength to 22. I need to wear lighter armor now though, if I don't want to fat roll. Anyway, this club might have some potential with it. Let's go test it out. Oh yeah, this looks to be quite what I wanted. None of these bird guys stand a chance against me now. Soon I found next bonfire and a couple of friendly NPCs there. This girl is from Astora, like that Oscar guy from Dark Souls 1. I guess that's why she is wearing elite knight set. I move forward to this new area where some enemies with big tree trunks and spears charge at me. They stand no chance against me though. Same with these black bug thingies, they go down quickly. It does not take me long to find next bonfire. Then some big enemy charges at me suddenly, which catches me off guard. I still beat it though, as well as its friend a bit further ahead. This place seems to be dead end though. I return to Firelink Shrine because I found Estus Shard to upgrade my Estus. I notice now that many new NPCs have arrived here, so I have a little bit chat with them all. We now got the Pyromancer, a dude who can awake my true strength or something like that, the thief who sells some gear, and some random chick who does not seem to like me. Anyway, I upgrade my Estus and also decide to upgrade the club a bit as well with the Titanite charge I have found. This should help to deal even greater damage to enemies. I move forward and face off some guys in 1 against 2 situation. It goes not well a couple of times, but in the end I beat them and get their weapons as a reward. After that I find a new bonfire. Seriously, it feels like this game is giving me new bonfire after every couple of minutes. Am I rushing this game too quickly, or is this game just this much more merciful than the previous 2 games? Anyway, we are apparently already in Pharaoh Keep, though I see nothing but swamp around here. I move forward, beating these snail enemies while at it, and after a while I find some new enemies who manage to poison me before I take them out. Then I click this glowing thing and apparently I did something important as cutscene triggers. Looks like I have to find 2 other things and do same for them for some door to open. Moving forward, I succeed to die to this enemy, but next time I get my revenge and move forward to find another glowing thing and same cutscene triggers here. Then I beat a couple more guys and find new bonfire. Looks like I found my way to that locked door, so now I just need to find the third thing to get this open. I beat some more snails, go up this ladder and found again another bonfire. There's also this wolfie who seems chill. I go up the lift and in the distance I can see something that resembles me of the Asylum and Stray Demon from Dark Souls 1. This is some kind of mini-boss and it does kill me a couple of times. It's nothing too hard though in the end, and after taking it down I found a way to access the other side of the gate. I find some bugs and mobs to kill, but not much else. Well, I guess I found this shield as well, but other than that this looks to be dead end. I guess I head back down to swamp area to search for the final thing for the door. Moving ahead, I encounter this weird wolf humanoid looking thing which I somehow managed to beat. Running ahead though, another man jumps me. I make a run for it and notice the third light thingy, so I rush to click to activate the cutscene, which opens up the gate forward. I die here quickly, but that just respawns me to bonfire from where I can just move ahead through the gate. I notice one of these bird enemies above and rush to kill it so it won't cause the others to attack. This worked out perfectly and I take out threat quickly. Ahead I see some enemies fighting each other I think, but I won't have time to worry about that as I find the next bonfire. Ahead from this bonfire are a couple of enemies and one of these crystal lizard things that was also in the tutorial area at the beginning. I beat it and move ahead to encounter what looks like a Black Knight from Dark Souls 1. I take it also out, but looks like this place is just a dead end. Well, I found some loot, so I guess that's fine. I head them back where the enemies were fighting each other. I aggro to the other dude and take it out while the other goes take out the enemy's head. I mean, I'm not gonna blame about that, I just then deal with the other guy and then with the remaining enemies. Okay, so let's let the guy fight these ones as well. Ah, there we go. Now let's see what lies behind this door. Sounds behind it are kinda sus. So here we have some dudes fighting each other. Alright, so we're at the boss fight. I guess there are a couple of enemies to beat here, and also it looks like some NPCs helping me with the fight. Things are going okay, I can deal good damage, even if I take some myself as well. After boss is down though, begins the second phase. I should have seen that one coming honestly. This one does not go so well. But this still does not seem like impossibly crazy hard, so I reckon I can do this in a couple of tries. Well, this is not going as I thought it would. Time to change the strategy. I think it's time to try something I did in the past. The double maze tactic from Dark Souls 2. I mean, in theory plan is good, but turns out there's no power stancing in this game. What the hell FromSoftware? Why would you take that away from us? Dual wielding mazes was so cool in Dark Souls 2 and it got me through most of the game. Honestly, this is a big minus to Dark Souls 3 in my opinion. Anyway, I just wasted a lot of souls for nothing. At least I remembered to upgrade my Estus again and also finally use this bone shard on bonfire to make Estus healing more efficient. Time to go back. After I don't know how many tries, boss finally goes down. Damn, that was a long evening of my life I never get back. Honestly, I was on the brink of just giving up on the whole game for a while. Beating this boss finally felt very rewarding though. Let's see what lies ahead. Next area is called Catacombs of Carthus. Surprisingly, it is a place full of skeleton enemies, which are very easy to bonk back to grave. The skeleton archers deal surprisingly big damage and these bigger enemies are sometimes a bit tricky as well. Nevertheless, I make good progress, at least if you don't count me falling to my death a couple of times by this rolling ball of skeletons, and I find first bonfire of the area in about 20 minutes. There looks to be multiple different ways to go and I decide to head to here where another ball of skeletons is rolling. I kill some rats and a couple other enemies, and up ahead I can see a bridge that leads somewhere, though this text makes me feel a bit sus about this bridge. I do find a way to circle around the bridge, which I decide to do as I would not be surprised if that bridge would just break under me and drop me to my death. After the bridge I find a room and goblet in the altar. I can interact with it, which triggers cutscene. And then bam, we are somewhere else I think, and it's pitch dark here. Dark thing does so that there is some enemy in darkness. Also there's this giant hand that I can target, so what happens if I hit it? Oh, it's a boss fight. A big damn boss as well. It does not take long for me to die. Yeah, panicked there and looks like there is some fog around the boss, so I cannot go near it or else that happens. I decided to explore rest of the catacombs before trying the boss again. Though I don't find anything too fancy. Enemies here don't drop a lot of Titanite shards, so that's nice. I have this bigger club in my inventory which I could upgrade for bigger bonk damage. I do need 28 strength for that first though, so I cannot use it yet. After exploring everything I could find, I go fight the boss again. This time I realized to keep my distance from the main body and keep attacking the hands. At some point I think I break one of its bracelets and boss loses a big chunk of HP. So apparently secret is just to destroy the bracelets. And wouldn't you know, with that boss turns out to go down quickly. Well, this was easier than expected, but hey, after the Abyss Watchers I take this quick win. I level up a little bit in Filing Shrine and move on to new area, Irithul of the Boreal Valley. Let's see then what this area has in store for me. Well, first thing first is this big ass dog monster that attacks me from behind, very nice of it to do. It's kinda hard to deal with honestly, but then I learn how to cheese it from this entrance and after a while it goes down. Next problem though is this magical wall thingy blocking my way. Apparently I would need some doll to gain access here. I return to Filing Shrine to talk NPCs to get a clue what to do. I however get no tips from them. I do keep some items to a couple of them because I am a nice guy like that, and I also noticed that Abyss Watchers has this stone here where I can offer the item I got from them. Ha, I guess they were one of these Lords of Cinders then. Anyway, I also beat the guy in front of the tower, but the door to tower is locked. Looks like this woman merchant sells the key here with the 20k souls. Damn, that's expensive though. So, as I got no information where I could get the doll to access the Irithul, it's time to Google it. Alright, so apparently I need to get to the Cathedral of Deep to beat some boss there to get the doll. I should find a way there back somewhere in the swamp in the Road of Sacrifices, so I guess I had to explore there then. After a while I do find the way I had missed last time I was here. I fight myself through the enemies here until I quite suddenly face off the next boss, Crystal Sage. At this point though, this boss is easy prey for my bonks. Boss keeps disappearing after a couple of hits and starts to also summon clones of itself, but I just run after it and hit it again and again until it's down. Easy peasy. Then I find another bonfire, fight some more enemies and finally enter to the Cathedral of Deep. At the bonfire I encounter a very peculiar character. He asked me a favor, and as I'm a nice guy I happily accept his request. That triggers a cutscene and it looks like I was fool here as this guy's weird napkin teleports me into a painted world. Damn it, did I get stuck here now? Well, actually not, because there's a bonfire here immediately, so I can just teleport myself away from here. Once I arrive back to the Cathedral of Keep, the guy is gone. Damn bastard ran away. Anyway, I think I'm not gonna check the painted world at least just yet. Let's explore this cathedral first. Well, apparently I cannot open these doors, so I guess I need to find a forward from the outside. So I start to explore around this graveyard area. Grab any loot I found along the way. I go through this area kinda thoroughly, which causes me to chuck down a lot of Estus. But nothing here is super dangerous for me at the moment. I do end up dying once cause I panic little, but other than that this is pretty smooth sailing. I find my way into this interior area with some giant chilling here apparently. I kill some more enemies and then find a lift that takes me down and back outside. Here I find one of the doors that I can now open from this side and it takes me back to the bonfire. I return back up with the lift and here we have this giant who really does not want me here. Once I finally get past the giant I explore around finding some knights and this very weird looking spider beast thing. And then I arrive to this large area below where I also find another giant. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go here, but I do end up finding another shortcut back to the bonfire. Also I find these levers that pull up these big walls, but I'm not sure what they're supposed to do. Well, lost as I am, I decide I'm gonna try to kill these giants. And I actually successfully do that as they are slow and quite easy to avoid by just running in their feet and hitting them there. Behind first giant was a couple doors I could open to find some items, and behind another giant seems to be maybe a correct way forward. I return to filing at this point to level up and reinforce my Estus, and when I come back I see the giants have not respawned. Now that makes this a bit easier then. I ran through these enemies to find a new lift that takes me up. Here I find some charm and a door that leads back towards the graveyard. When I go back where I found the charm, I find this guy in Katarina armor. It seems he has lifted this bridge thing here and advises me something about treasure. I ran to the bridge and it turns out it was a trap set by the guy, I guess. Well, kinda. I guess he supposedly planned to lower me down to face the giants, but you know, I had already killed them. Apparently this guy realizes it as well. Once I get back up, he has run away. Well, maybe we meet this guy again later somewhere. Anyway, I kill off the enemies I skipped earlier and soon I see Foggate in front of me. I go through to face off the next boss fight, Deacons of the Deep. This boss fight gives me Skeletal Lords or the Prowling Magnus vibes, where this is just a bunch of mobs to kill. It's not really too hard, just need to always find the glowing guy to hit to whittle down the boss HP bar. It does get a bit crowded in the end, but I still beat it the first try. From this boss I get this doll which we can use to enter the Irithel and move forward. Back at the Filing Shrine, this guy gives me some key somewhere, and also people from Astora are here planning to travel to Irithel as well, it seems. Well, nothing to it but venture there next. Alright, so after the misty wall is a bonfire. Moving ahead, I face first enemies of this place. These guys are quite strong. I do get past them, but the next enemies are not any easier. Especially this guy shooting fire and flames at me. I struggle with these guys a bit, gotta admit. I do kill them finally and then get progress rolling here. I deal with the upcoming enemies as carefully I can and find my way to next bonfire. I keep moving ahead and here the enemies are thankfully much easier to deal with. I search around, grabbing any items I find, though I don't dare to pick every single one in fear of the danger. I find myself going outside of the town and find then another bonfire. I explore this super looking area and kill these weird chimera looking things from Fullmetal Alchemist. I go up the stairs and in this big room I encounter Black Knight. I attack it, but then someone shoots me in the back. I panic and try to run, which leads to my death in the hands of the Black Knight. Okay, I think I'm gonna ignore that area for now and move ahead from the bonfire. I move ahead and well, things get a bit dicey here. After getting through these enemies though, I already find bonfire and apparently new area, Irithel Dungeon. Now this place is quite something. We got these guys with these hot iron rods and they also seem to cast some kind of spell or curse which whittles down my max HP. Gotta move carefully here and take out everything one by one. I get one shortcut open thankfully and find a couple of keys, but I don't find any doors that would open with them. Anyway, I keep moving ahead and soon find myself outside. I beat a couple of enemies here and then find what seems to be a mimic chest. Even though I know it is a mimic, it still won't stop it from eating me. Twice. Okay, screw that mimic, I'll just move ahead. I beat some more enemies and then I find a giant who is sleeping? I cannot seem to get past and I don't need to start fighting it though. Thankfully I do find another way that goes around it. I beat some rats, entered the super looking place, beat some more rats, a couple of bigger rats, and then find two chests at the end of this channel. I open another one and another chest seems to be a mimic. I still haven't learned anything from previous one and this thing kills me. Well, with the help of these basilisks that came out of nowhere. Turns out these basilisks come from some hole I guess when I run to the end of the tunnel. Next I skip the mimic and take out the basilisks one by one. Ahead I can see a bunch of those iron rod enemies. I'm running low on Estus so I avoid them and take the path to the left, which ends up working out fine as I find a shortcut back to the dungeon and to the bonfire. Phew, this will help me as I can now restore my Estus and quite quickly get back here then. Moving back down from the bonfire I beat the enemies one by one. Moving ahead I found a new area called Profane Capital. Right away some scary looking stone monster attacks me. Thankfully it's easier to beat than I thought and after crossing this bridge I find next bonfire. I start to explore around this area, beating any enemies, like this ugly head face thing and a mimic, as I go along. Soon I find myself apparently back at the dungeon. I beat some enemies that are trying to surprise me. I see I am close back to the giant and at the end of this tunnel I find Taylor's keys. I guess I might need these to access somewhere. I drop down to kill a couple of rats, avoid getting killed, go up ladder and I'm back close where I originally encountered the giant. At this point I'm a bit lost. I have the jailer's keys as well as some jailbreaker key, which mentions that it could open some barred window in the dungeon. Also I think I did not show all from the profaned capital. I could see some areas below me with some items and enemies. I guess I tried to find anything I could open with these keys from the dungeon and try to find some other way at the profaned capital as well. I do end finding where the jailbreaker key goes, but it's just a shortcut outside the dungeon, so it does not really help me. I explore a bit in the dungeon but cannot really find anything here, so I decide to go explore profaned capital. I do find these ladders going down. Here we got some enemies shooting fireballs at me and another one of these statue enemies. I take it out and head in to find these white robed guys. I take them out, following another statue enemy. Here I can find Fog Gate, which I assume to have a boss fight behind it. I find the guys shooting those fireballs earlier and take them out. I end up getting killed though when the statue enemy surprises me when I go attack another group of white robed guys. So once I get back to the area I decide to check out what is behind the Fog Gate. And right I was, it is a boss fight, and none other than Yorm the Giant. Wait, what? I thought I was searching for another Lord of Cinder, the one which that lady from Astoria was talking earlier. The one who lives in the Irithel? How the hell did I find this guy before that? Anyway, Yorm, does not really care about my attacks. So naturally, I don't really stand a chance here. I think I'm not supposed to be here yet? Maybe I have to return all the way back to Irithel to find another way to go there. I assume there is some boss fight there that I have missed completely. And right I was. After exploring more in the Irrital, I do find some shortcuts and a fog gate to next boss, which is very hard. Maybe I should try to parry this guy as one of the text advised? Well, that would of course require me to know how to parry. Well, I'm gonna get through this guy one way or another. After so many attempts, I finally get the attempt, and thus Pontiff has been vanquished. I gather myself, level up a bit and get ready to move forward. Up ahead we have a lot of stuff to go through. I run around, find any items I can, beat up these fireball shooting enemies, then these two random dudes attacking me, then die as an arrow from Black Knight Archer makes me fall. Then I died this giant enemy. Great. After a couple more deaths I managed to get through the Black Knight. Man, there were so many of them. I find what looks to be the statue of Queen and a switch which rotates a platform down for me to access. This seems somewhat familiar somehow. After raising the platform up, I find myself in Anor Londo? Well, this at least must be the Anor Londo, as it looks like exactly the same as in Dark Souls 1. I guess there has been some changes, but the castle itself looks to be the same at least. Guess I'll go check out what's been going on here then. First I face some Black Knights, which I deal quite easily. I go around the sign to find the giant blacksmith from Dark Souls 1. Unfortunately though, he is long gone it seems. I do get this call from him to give to Andre. Moving ahead inside the castle I find some more fireballs shooting enemies, so I go take them out quickly. There's plenty of these slime enemies as well, and also this weird spider guy as well. They give me a run for my money, but I take them out in the end and survive the encounter. Then I use the lever to open the door back outside. So this works as a small shortcut to the fog gate ahead. I beat quickly one a bit stronger Black Knight on the side, level up in Filing Shrine and then head to the fog gate. And behind is someone we've been looking for a while. Aldrich. And this fight seems to begin quite rough, as Aldrich definitely deals a lot of damage to me. Get a couple of attempts in, but I always go down at latest when Aldrich goes down some kind of fire mode and just shoots like endless amounts of arrows. So yeah, this boss is not much easier than Pontiff. The endless amounts of projectiles he shoots is just merciless time to time. In the end though, he must fall. After beating Aldrich, I return to Filing Shrine to level up a bit, and then investigate Guinevere's room in Anor Londo. All there is though is just a ring. With that, I think the next tip is just to try to beat Yorm next. Which probably is not going to be much easier though. I tempt Yorm a couple of times. I read online that there is a way to cheese him with weapon which you can get from this boss room near his throne. But I wanted to try the fight without it. Thing is though, this would take forever. His attacks are easy to avoid, but I barely make any damage myself. I can get a bit more damage to his hands whenever I can hit those, but it's not much. Sooner or later I always end up making mistakes, which cause me to lose HP, and in the end I would run out of Estus and I die. I think I have to get the cheese weapon for this one. I don't want to always spend 15 minutes fighting this guy for nothing. I'll see if I can get him beaten with the cheese weapon so I can just move on with the game. And yep, after getting the Storm Ruler, taking out Yorm is piece of cake. Just charge the attack power and hit for big damage. Hardest part is to keep charging the attack while avoiding hits, but it's still easy first try with this weapon. After Yorm is beaten, a cutscene triggers immediately. Game teleports me immediately back to the woman who gave me the banner to access the undead settlement. She gives me some item which I guess will help me access the 4th Lord of Cinder, which I assume will be this Prince Lothric guy she mentions. Anyway, I plan next to go level up a bit to use the souls I got from Yorm, but I accidentally trigger another cutscene which actually leads to next boss fight, Dance of the Boreal Valley. Well, screw me, I'm not about to die to this boss and lose all these souls, so I take my distance and use a homeward bone to get to the Firelink Shrine. I level up a bit, drop the Yorm skull to his altar, and now I am ready to see what that boss is all about. Dancer of the Boreal Valley is what I would say a mid-boss in terms of difficulty. Hard at first, but after you figure it out, it's actually quite easy. After a couple of attempts, I take this boss out, so this took shorter time than I expected. Now I just need to figure out where do I need to go next. I check out the statue which triggered the Dancer boss fight, and this time different cutscene occurs, which lowers ladders for me to climb. There seems to be 2 different ways to go here, and I decide to head left first. Here I beat this very strong big guy, and take elevator down. I don't wanna fight that. I'll go back to the elevator and roll out of it during the rise to get to this platform. I find Estus Shard, and from here I can see better the area ahead of me. I avoid all the big monster things and head on to deal with another big knight guy. Then I avoid more big baddies and find a summoning sign and 2 more of these knight dudes. I decide to summon this NPC to help me deal with these knights, which we do quite easily. And then ahead is Foggate, so I guess another boss? I have no idea though what to expect here. I'm a bit low on Estus, but I do have this NPC with me, so I just go check out what we have here. If I die, it's gonna be annoying run back, but hey, it is what it is. Some scary noises can be heard from another side of the Foggate, and as I go through, cutscene triggers. So we are fighting some crazed half dragon, half man thingy? Alright then, I gotta be honest, I probably would have died to this thing without the NPC helping out. With him, it's easy to get hits on the boss while it is distracted. It also kinda gets easily stuck to the walls and whatnot. Soon second phase begins and boss become much more faster and kinda crazier with its attacks. It still is nothing me and my NPC fellow could not handle, and in time we take the boss out. I mean, it was not my intention to have this NPC follow me to the boss fight, but it just kinda happened, so I'll accept this. Now we get new bonfire here and a way to go forward. I continue from the Oseros bonfire ahead, but all I can find is some chests with Titanite and a emote. Okay, well that's that then. I move on then forward back from the Dancer bonfire. Here I encounter some bit stronger enemies, but I take them out successfully and find next bonfire. I move ahead from there to go outside of the castle, beat some pretty regular soldier enemies and find then another bonfire. And then I get murdered by invader. Right, that was a thing as well. Honestly, I don't even try to fight against these invaders, I just embrace the inevitable death, grab my souls back and move on. While I level up in Firelink Shrine, I notice something. There is some dude sitting on one of the thrones. Wait, how long have you been there? Turns out this guy is actually one of the Lords of the Cinders, Ludleth. He just has voluntarily arrived here to chill. I mean, cool, I don't need to bother to hunt him down. Also, he can apparently make boss weapons from boss souls, which is cool. I create this great sword from Pontiff's soul, but I don't know if will I end up even using it. But alright then, let's let the dude chill here while we try to find the last Lord of Cinder then. I return to the dragon barracks and notice, well, a dragon on the bridge. And soon other one appears as well. Surprisingly, they shoot fire. I do successfully run past them though and go in the building from the right. I beat some weak enemies and then I see the tail of the other dragon. I wonder could I take the dragon out by attacking the tail? Turns out it has this push of man, Google told me the name of this thing, in it, and I guess somehow possessing it and it takes me out quickly. Okay, screw that then, let's just move on. Next time I go to the bridge, dragons don't do anything. This allows me to explore area more, so I run around a bit to collect some items and beating up enemies. In time I find a lever which opens up a gate. After exploring around a bit more, I go through where gate open and get wrecked. After finally getting through the enemies, I notice a fog gate ahead. Probably next boss fight here then. I search around surrounding areas for whatever I can find. I end up finding actually Sunlight Altar, which is cool. I also find a shortcut all the way back to the Dancer of the Boreal Valley bonfire. From there, run back to the fog gate might actually be easier than from the Dragon Barracks bonfire, as there's only 2 enemies in the way there. So I go quickly refill my Estus there before checking out the fog gate. So, next boss fight is against a Dragon Slayer armor. Wait, just an armor? Is there someone inside the armor, or is it just a hollow armor animated somehow to move? Is this maybe somehow related to Ornstein or the old Dragon Slayer? Well, anyway, this fight is pretty simple, but for some reason I still struggle with this fight a lot. Really, there is no weird gimmicks or anything with this fight, but somehow I just can't beat this guy. I tried something like an hour before I needed to take a break. And then of course on the very first attempt after the break I beat the guy. Simple fight in the end. It seems these weird flying creatures were somehow linked to the armor, as they die as well when I take out the boss. Once again I return to Filing Shrine to level up a bit before moving on. Next area ahead is Grand Archives, where first thing I find is a bonfire. Seriously, why though? I can literally see the previous one from here. Anyway, I head in encounter Crystal Sage. I think this is the first boss to appear as a normal enemy in this game. Wouldn't be a Dark Souls game without one. This guy keeps teleporting around the archives and shoots me from wherever time to time, which makes exploring this place a bit tricky. Thankfully, after like third teleport it stops and I get to take it out. I keep exploring around, grabbing any items I find and unlocking some shortcuts back to the bonfire. Things are going quite smoothly here, except for these ghost hands that keeps cursing me to my death. Also, these statue enemies are not the nicest. I make quick way through this place and then encounter next challenge. This trio of enemies attacking me all at once. This reminds me of something, but I'm not sure what. Anyway, it's a bit tough fight, but I struggle through somehow without dying and take them all out. Thankfully I find another shortcut back to the bonfire. After getting back up, I arrive to this bridge full of undead soldier enemies. I start taking them out and they put up surprisingly good fight. There is also one stronger guy who I take out. Then we got 3 stronger guys. Uh-oh. Well, I do manage to take them out as well, attracting them to me one by one. Thankfully there is no more enemies ahead, but I'm running really low on Estus now. But then I found out yet another shortcut, this one actually taking me all the way back down to the Lothric castle where I fought the Dragon Slayer armor. So I can easily find my way back to the Dancer of the Boreal Valley bonfire to recover my Estus. Alright, nothing much else then but to go back up and see what is behind the doors at the end of that bridge. Behind the door I find a hallway and at the end of it a room. Here cutscene triggers introducing the next boss fight.
Oh dear. Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders. Mind you, the mantle of Lord interests me none. The fire-linking curse, the legacy of lords, let it all fade into nothing. You've done quite enough. Now have your rest.
So we are fighting this crippled guy? I assume this guy above is then the younger brother. Alright then. This boss is gonna take time and many attempts I see.
Marks are grave, but you may rest here too, if you like.
I do manage to get to second phase of the fight already, but I still go down quite easily then. The little brother riding on big brother's back does not make this fight any easier. I think I need to get stronger weapon for this fight. I see that now that I have the soul of the Dragon Slayer armor, I can make his great axe. So I do that, upgrade it a bit, and it looks like it does have better damage numbers than my club had. I go with this new weapon back to boss fight and the damage is, well, maybe a little bit better than before. Honestly, I don't see much of a difference. So no cheesing this one, I just have to get good. So, after dying a lot of attempts against these twin princes, I decided it's time to start looking into something. The weapon infusion. I have ignored this whole thing so far, but after investigating it looks like this could help me a lot. By infusing my great club with heavy gem, I can make it scaling with strength better, which means I should make more damage with it. I also have not upgraded my club in a while, so actually I'm able to upgrade it all the way to +10 in one go. Alright, so maybe this makes the fight easier. Well, kinda. I mean, it's still the same difficult fight, but I do deal better damage now, so I can get to second phase faster and with more Estus remaining. After a couple more attempts, I finally get the winning attempt.
You remain among the accursed.
Whew, gotta be honest, that got me shaking a bit. But with this, I think I have all the Lords of Cinder now beaten. I return naturally back to Firelink Shrine to level up, and now I guess I just need to place Lothric's skull to his throne. So I place the skull to the throne, speak to Lutlet, who advises me to talk to Firekeeper. Firekeeper tells me to kneel to bonfire, which I do. This triggers a cutscene where Firekeeper I guess kinda imbues me with some kind of ember collected from the Lords of Cinder, and this teleports me to what seems to be a bit different version of the Firelink Shrine.
To the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame.
Well, this place is called Guild of the First Flame, so I guess I'm already closing on to the final boss of the game. Outside I see some weird light pillar in the distance and a bonfire which seems to take me to final boss. At least that is what I assume, but I don't dare to click the bonfire to test this theory. Because before I face the last boss I of course want to do the DLCs. I decided to also Google any possible optional area and boss fights I may have missed, and I found a couple of things. From the looks of it, I missed 3 areas and their bosses: Smoldering Lake, Untended Graves, and Archdragon Peak. So I have still a lot of stuff to explore. Of course I could just go try to beat the final boss and beat the game, but I don't want to miss out any possible cool content still left in the game. So I think I'm gonna start with the optional areas in main game, starting with the Smoldering Lake. This area can be found by breaking the bridge that leads to Wolner boss and descending down. This I do very flawlessly. Here I beat the fire demon and couple of skeletons until I find a bonfire. Yeah, I might be a bit over leveled to this place, but hey, maybe I can get through this place kinda smoothly then. I start explore ahead on the Smoldering Lake, and first thing I notice that there is something shooting me with the big ass arrows. So I gotta stay on the move to avoid that, I guess. Also, this huge ass worm appears out of nowhere. Can't see how much HP it has, so I make a run to get past it, and ahead I notice fog wall. I quickly run through the fog wall, and here we have the boss fight of this place, Old Demon King. I go into this fight very overconfidently, and well, that costs me. Next attempt I take it more carefully and win the fight easily. Well, that was kinda quick. I explore the area other way more and find this tunnel where I find Horace attacking me? This is the guy that was with Henry and he's gone hollow or something. I guess this is part of some quest line which I should have done by finding this area much earlier. Well, anyway, I beat Horace quickly. Other than that, I really don't find anything else super important in this area, nor much else to explore. So after running around, avoiding the arrows from the sky and the scraps, I feel like I'm done with this place and decide to move on. Next area to find is Untended Graves, which can be found behind an illusionary wall which is behind the chest in the area after the Oseros boss bonfire. Alright, let's see what do we got here then. Apparently this place is same as the tutorial area, Cemetery of Ash, but it's just dark, and also with stronger enemies. Okay, well at least I guess I know where to find the boss. I head to the area where I fought the very first boss of the game, and I was correct, the boss of this area is right here as well. Looks like this is actually the same guy, but just way much stronger. I definitely underestimated this guy first, but in the end I get this boss beaten on the 3rd attempt. So it wasn't definitely worst thing at all. Again though, I was probably over leveled for this fight. I explore ahead the area to find some Black Knights to beat and then the Firelink Shrine. Or at least some kind of different version of it. There's no bonfire here, only NPC I could find is this old lady. I run around a bit and then return to actual Firelink Shrine. I think that was all important from the Untended Graves. Next I investigate how do I get to Archdragon Peak. Looks like I need to use the Chester I found after the Oseros boss fight in this specific area in Irritable Dungeon. I was wondering that this spot looked somehow important back when I first found it. So I use the Chester here, wait a while, and then short cutscene plays and I am teleported to the Archdragon Peak. We got some surprisingly tough enemies here right off the bat. I still get through them to find first bonfire of this place quickly. And after the bonfire there's a gate to be opened, and right after the gate the first boss of this place, Ancient Wyvern. So I try to fight this thing head on by attacking its legs, like with the Ancient Dragon in Dark Souls 2, but this is going to go nowhere. I do barely any damage, and I run around a bit to the area to see if there's some gimmick I could use against the boss, but I don't find anything before dying to boss. So I googled the fight, cause screw this, and found out that there's a gimmick to cheese the boss. I need to find a ledge to jump from and attack its head. Alright, here we have the ledge, just gonna fall down to its head like so, and of course I would miss that. Next try though, I managed to land the hit and boss actually goes down in one hit. I was not expecting that. I thought it would just do a lot of damage, so it could be then taken out with a couple more hits to legs, for example. Well, I'll take that then. After the fight, cutscene triggers which teleports me well somewhere. I found next bonfire and start to explore area ahead. Enemies here do not feel too tough and I make quick progress forward. Soon I encounter another ancient wyvern, this time as normal enemy, so I just run away from it and from these little rock lizard things as well to interior area. I take out some more enemies, find a sign saying not to ring some bell, I guess it's this big bell here, and then I find next bonfire. I explore what I think is the rest of the place before facing second boss. I beat some enemies, get some items here and there, and I also found Havel, well at least someone wearing his armor. He kicks my butt, then I kill him, you know, basic stuff. Apparently they just had to put Havel in every Dark Souls game. Anyway, now I just need to figure out where do I find the second boss of this place. So against the advice of the writing on the floor, I ring the bell. This triggers a cutscene and everything goes kind of foggy. This is a bit confusing, but apparently I can walk over this fog here to enter this fog gate. And here we have the boss fight against the King of Storms. Now this one is quite epic, riding on a dragon and all. Feels also epically hard. Damn, I get killed here so many times. And once I get past the King of Storms, it only starts the second phase for the boss, the Nameless King. This is where the true challenge begins. He attacks very aggressively and his attacks are kinda hard to avoid. But even though I keep losing to this boss, I keep on trying and trying. Somehow this boss feels different from others. It's hard to explain, but I just enjoy fighting this one again and again, even though I keep losing. For me, he has the same vibe as Artorias fight as in Dark Souls 1, where the fight is not hard because of some stupid gimmick, but it's just because it takes a lot of practice to learn and get good at it. And as always with all the boss fights, there is always the last battle. Rest in peace, King without a name. Another cutscene triggers which returns area back to normal. Now I can explore area normally and I actually find a Dragon Slayer armor set and Dragon Slayer spear, which is kinda cool I guess. I level up a bit in Firelink Shrine and now that all that is left of the game are the DLCs and then the final boss. I mean, how hard can all that be after that crazy fight? Right? With some new swag equipped, I teleport on the bonfire in the painted world of the Aryan Dell and start to explore ahead. I face off soldiers and then I succeed to fall to well somewhere. Here I face wolves, lots of wolves. Also these trees are enemies, cause of course they are, right? After almost dying to wolves and trees I can see multiple different paths to go. Also found this huge wolf which gives me some trouble. Behind where big wolf was is some area with very scary looking guy. Yeah, I'm not going there with only 2 Estus. Other way we got some more tree enemies, item and some soldiers which I ran away from. I move back the other way and end up finding a bridge which leads me to a very not sus looking building and a bonfire inside this little cave. I cross the bridge, kill some random enemies and talk to this guy at the door. He tells me to go in to talk to someone called Sister Freed. Well, I go in, find another bonfire, and talk to Sister Fried. And she just tells me to get the hell away from here. Well, thanks for your hospitality. I search around the building and I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. Back to explore the wilderness. Is there something I'm missing? Well, obviously there is. I just don't know yet what. I guess I just need to find a way to explore and go from there. I decide to go back to the first bonfire and start again from there. I make my way back to the big scary guy, who from closer looks like some Viking dude. I manage to beat it, and at the distance I see another Viking guy with the wolf. I decide to circle around him to approach the tower ahead. I go in the tower, beat another Viking guy, climb up and loot anything I can find, kill another Viking guy and loot some more stuff. Well, looks like there's nothing much else here. I move towards this valley looking area and then suddenly... oh no, it's howling, which means a pack is coming. I run to safety of the tower, then peek back out and take out the little box. Then the big Viking guy notices me. I try to fight him, but he hits like a truck. I run back to the tower. Safe for now. I wait until Viking dude leaves, then head on to deal with the big bad wolf. After beating it, I fall to some ledge, and I drop down one ledge at a time and actually end up back to the rope bridge. Ha! Well, I guess that's that for that area. I guess there must be a way to go then somewhere here. After a while, I do notice this ladder going down, so that's where I head. Here we got more soldiers and then whatever these things are. Ew. Nasty little guys, but very weak. I mowed them down quickly. Moving ahead, we got very crazy enemy though. Its attacks are fast and vigorously strong. I still get by thankfully. I climb a ladder and find this guy who I can talk to. He apparently wants me to set this whole world on fire, which, trust me homie, I would happily do if I could. Moving ahead, I find a bonfire. Moment of relief. And up ahead we got more weakling enemies, another crazy guy with a bit different weapons. He kills me quite quickly. Damn, I was not prepared for that. Next time I take it out, I move on to kill more weaklings. Only guys putting up a fight are these dudes shooting some magic at me. Well, those and then yet another crazy guy. Seriously, screw these guys. After getting to the rooftop area, I found a ladder down. On the side of the building we got one of these 3 enemies and some loot. Inside the building, the guy from the entrance to the chapel appears and attacks me.
Time again. Every fleeing man must be caught. Every secret must be unearthed. Such is the conceit of the self-proclaimed seeker of truth. But in the end, you lack the stomach for the enemy that you'll bring upon yourself.
Well, that was your biggest mistake, buddy.
Not forgiving you, my lady. Swore an oath. Lady Elfrida.
He drops some key which I can use to pull a lever on the wall. That drops away to upper floor where we have this girl. She talks to some nonsense which I don't understand a bit. I head out from the door and find a way to the next bonfire. I can also open this door back to the girl, so cool I guess. I start to explore this mountain area and this place kinda sucks. I mean, normal soldier enemies are quite easy, but we got some annoying shenanigans like another surprise drop, some big guy shooting with the bow, and strong butt Viking dudes again. I do find one shortcut from the bonfire, and after beating some Viking butt I can cut this tree for another shortcut. Which honestly does not help really, cause next I enter this place full of these bug enemies, and after taking them out I actually find stairs up which leads me back to Sister Fried. She does not seem happy to see me. I check up from the ladder and find the little painter girl painting upstairs. Other than that though, nothing seems to have changed. I guess I have to go down here to this room filled with bug enemies. Oh, why? I head back down again and take out bugs carefully. I find this contraption to interact with and it triggers a cutscene opening some hidden path in the chapel. I return to the chapel and Sister is still not happy with me, and I move on to the hidden area. In here I find some old man talking like crazy about something.
Not enough blood yet, Sheed. My flail. Bring me my flail. Frida, what stops thine ears? Please, my flail, right away.
I interact with the guy and another cutscene triggers, which begins the boss fight, Sister Fried.
We have no need of thy flail. 'Tis only the flame quivering at misguided ash. Please avert thine eyes. I will snuff out these ashes for good.
The first attempt is over quickly. This might take a while to get hang of.
Return from whence thou camest, for that is thy place of belonging.
Okay, seriously. Who was the sadistic bastard that designed this boss? I mean, it's kinda cool and challenging in a right way, but like, bro! I got through first phase, struggled a bit in second one, but the third was just plain impossible for me. Well, for a long time at least. It's pretty ruthless to try to get a good run into the third phase without using all my Estus before it. I was stuck with this boss for days, cause I just had to take breaks between attempts to save my sanity and my controller. After one evening of countless attempts though... I finally got it. It's finally done and over. Well, there is still another boss in this DLC, but maybe it is not as hard as this one. As a reward, I get souls for one single level up and way to access the Ring City DLC through this bonfire. I go take a peek there, talk to some old lady, etc. But before I head more into there, let's return to Ariandel to take on the second boss there. To get to the boss, I just need to destroy the bridge and descend from here to area below. There are a couple of enemies here, but nothing too dangerous to worry about. Except, of course, the worst enemy of all, the cliffs. Anyway, after I get all the way down, I found this meadow-looking area, and in the distance I can see a wolf. And suddenly, I'm in a boss fight. Well, that was kinda anticlimactic, no fog wall or anything. And anticlimactic is this boss fight as well. I beat the wolves, the dude who I guess is tending a grave, and a big bad wolf that appears. The big wolf is only giving a little bit of trouble here, but it's still first try win with this boss. Hey, easy with this nice change of pace, as I don't think this will last long. I get enough souls to level up once, then I give some ass to the merchant lady, and now I'm more or less ready to go explore the Ring City DLC. I already know it's going to be the hardest thing in the game. At this point I'm honestly feeling a bit worn out with all these crazy hard bosses, but I would never give up when I'm already this far. Nothing to it but to brave on to new challenges. So I start to explore ahead from the wreck heap bonfire, and this place is quite something. These freaking blue dudes keep spawning from everywhere. They don't have much HP, but they hit hard and can easily swarm you. Then there's this flying thing shooting me with some lasers, some night dudes, and of course my worst enemy, the cliff. At least I figure out this thing apparently was summoning the ugly angel in the sky, as when I killed it, the ugly angel disappeared as well. After a couple of deaths, I just rushed through everything and dropped down to find next bonfire. Wait, this is called Earthen Peak Ruins bonfire. Like same Earthen Peak as in Dark Souls 2? Well, now that I look at this place, this does have same DS2 Earthen Peak vibe, with the architecture of the ruins and with the poison field ahead. Another laser shooting angel appears and kills me. Then I just make run and drop down to safety. Also I think, as another laser shooter appears. This place is crazy! I'm barely surviving avoiding the lasers, these mini-yorms, and there's also this pyromancer lady. After panicking and running around aimlessly, I do find 2 enemies, summoning the angels and kill them to despawn those damn laser shooters. But, where am I supposed to go here exactly? Well, after running around a while, I do see this sign to tell me to drop down from here, and below there is next bonfire. Up ahead is another drop down, pretty big one this time, and below waits first boss fight of this DLC. Gank Demons! Oh well, this seems fun. Honestly, this is mostly tedious than it is anything else. At least at first. Demons are quite aggressive, so most of the fight is just me running around and avoiding them and waiting to get 1 or 2 hits into one of them. So it's kinda slow fight. In time I take out the first demon, and after that taking out the second one does not take that long. But of course this fight has a second phase, with the other demon digivolving to some super demon with crazy health pool, and it just completely wrecks me. I tried this fight again with the NPCs Hamon Gale, and first phase goes much easier now. Second phase still wrecks me, but I think I was just not aggressive enough there. Next attempt I go all ham, and this time I beat the boss with the help of the summon. Honestly, I just could not be bothered to solo this boss. It would have taken so many attempts, and after the freed, I just don't have energy or motivation for that. Moving on, a banner we got from the Demon Prince allows us to get a ride to Ring City. I find some guy, or whatever this thing is, and first bonfire. Ahead we have a bridge, and crossing it is not as easy as I thought. Apparently there's this big guy in distance summoning some spirit archers to shoot me. After dying and thinking a bit, I noticed that there is a route between these stones that I can take safely. I just have to wait time to time in safe spots for the right time to make another run to the next one. Some skellies spawn that I deal with, and first I try to make a run to that big guy, and well, that does not work out. Next, I try to run to this doorway, which does not work out either. Then I notice that I can drop to platform next to bridge. Well, I butcher that couple of times and die. After successfully getting down, I find a bug to kill and ladder that leads me close to the big guy. I make a run to attack him, get some damage in, and then die. Next I try find a safe spot on the platform big guy is. From here I can run to him to get a couple of hits in and then run back to safety from archers. He also summons some black knights here, but I can avoid them easily. Finally I can kill the guy and explore the bridge in peace to collect all the loot from there. Then I continue my way down the stairs and find some other weird guy to talk to, couple of weak enemies, and soon another bonfire. Heading towards, we got pretty linear exploring. I beat more of these weak guys, some stronger knight looking guys, these weird blue sorcery guys, and some more mini-orcs. I also find this door which I can talk to. Apparently there's some woman behind there locked up by someone. She actually tells me about one of the bosses of this DLC, Midir, and requests me to go slay it. As a properly suited dragon slayer, I accept the request and move on. I make good progress until I get to this hallway, where there are these curse-inflicting enemies. I did not notice the curse build up and die to curse because of it. Well, I can only blame my own recklessness about that. Next time I'm more careful and beat the enemies easily. Soon I noticed that weird bug guy again, which I met before. He's still talking some nonsense. Up ahead we got this big swamp area. Here I panic as I fail to land a one-hit kill attack against this enemy and I start running. I notice some doorway and run there. There's this bug guy as an enemy which I deal with, and then I notice a bonfire. Damn, I was lucky to get here alive. I have acquired many souls, so I return to Firelink to level up before moving on. This swamp area is quite dangerous. There are these cricket enemies, one of these archers summoning guy, and this gang of 3 crazy strong dudes. So yeah, I get wrecked here a couple of times. In the end, I make my way to avoid all possible enemies, somehow take out the trio gang, and then find a shortcut to the bonfire. When I make my way to this bridge, a dragon appears and set everything afire. Well, I managed to make my way into the building ahead without getting burned to crisp, thankfully. I wonder if that dragon was actually Midir I was assigned to slay. I mean, probably, how many dragons could be here? Anyway, I head into this tower with spiraling staircase. Here we got bunch of skeletons which are easy to deal with and NPC invader which I take out rather quickly. After a while of running, falling, running, falling and running again, I make my way upwards and find the next bonfire here. I step outside of the tower and I encounter the dragon once again. This looks to be pretty tricky to get through, but bravely I make run for it. Swing a couple of hits to dragon even, then panic and make run to safety. I move ahead and find a statue of what looks like Quinn and some random guy. I don't know, but what I do know is that here I found also a shortcut back to the first bonfire. Nice. Then I move outside and the building ahead which I could see earlier from above when I was originally arriving to city. Here I face strong dude dual wielding some big ass swords. After beating him and getting close to the church looking building, I hear a voice warning me of coming any further.
Return from whence thou camest. The abyss runneth deep. By the king's decree. None may disturb our mistress's slumber.
Well, I ignore all of that as suit, and next ahead we have a next bonfire. This huge guy summons some dude and another dude who is the boss it seems? Okay, well, does not seem to be too dangerous, though it's literally just a guy with some fancy magic. So this goes quite easily on first try, nothing much to mention here. I was not really expecting that any boss fight would be this easy anymore. After that I find next bonfire and lift that takes me up. And here I find some sleeping lady. I guess this could be the Filianor who the voice earlier was talking about. I interact with her and that triggers a cutscene. Wait, what did I just do? Seriously, what did I do? Well, I'm not sure what happened, but we have another bonfire here, and now everything around is just wasteland apparently. I go outside, find this guy crawling, kill him, and move ahead. After a while, a cutscene triggers and I face the next boss, Slave Knight Gale. This is a boss fight I have been dreading, as I have heard online that this is a very difficult fight. The fight starts, and honestly though, biggest issue here looks to be that he barely takes any damage from my attacks. Of course, as this is my first attempt, I don't know how to avoid all his attacks yet, but it looks like that it's not that hard to learn as with some other bosses. I get all the way to second phase, but then lose the attempt there. Okay, I admit he's harder than I first thought, but in my opinion he's not as bad as Freed was. This fight is more epic than Freed though. Gotta admit though, I find it funny and a bit cute how, when you go through the fog gate, Gale just runs at you on all fours from the boss area. Like, man is just so eager to fight you again, he cannot wait until you get to him. Anyway, most of my difficulties are with the third phase, where I always get too impatient and try to attack when I should just keep avoiding attacks. Until finally I lock in properly. Whew, that was epic battle. I get this item, Blood of Dark Soul from Gale, but I don't know what should I do with it. Come to think of it, where the heck do I find Midir now? I last saw it when I ran past it in the building, but I have no idea where I actually fight it. Well, after some googling, it seems I actually need to beat Midir back where I last saw it, to make it fall and then find a little secret way from shortcut lift to get to fight it. Also, apparently I can go and take this Blood of the Dark Soul to Painting Girl in Ariandel for some extra lore. We'll see if I remember to do that after I'm done with the Midir. So I head to the bridge to Unga Bunga Midir and it goes, well, not well first. Second try I get it to fall and then I head down to lift to find the secret path to get the item from the Queen statue and then head to the other side to find illusionary wall and from there a drop that takes me to Midir. I head into the fight and it starts actually okay. We deal some damage to each other and all in all it goes alright until Midir pulls out the freaking laser beam out of nowhere which one-shots me. Ah, well that's quite something. I don't know what to say about Midir. It is cool looking dragon for sure and battle is cool as well. Mostly the issues from here are same as with Gale. My attacks don't hurt that boss much and I take a lot of damage back. So it's all about learning to avoid the attacks of the enemy and attacking back at the right time. In the end though, this was not as hard as Gale and I beat Midir surprisingly quickly. Although it was a bit of a clutch win with the strong ass riposte move, I don't think I could have beaten this without it. But hey, I'll definitely take that because that means that only one boss remains. Next, I was planning to go to report to the lady who gave me the quest to slay Midir, that mission is accomplished, but when I arrived to her door, she's not there. Well, screw that then. Instead I go give the Blood of the Dark Soul to Painting Girl, who plans to paint the world with it, whatever that means. She also wonders when Uncle Gale will return. Should I tell her? Maybe not. We don't want more problems with anyone. And now it's time to head to the final battle. I teleport myself to Kiln of the First Flame, light the bonfire and head on. Final boss, the soul of Cinder appears and the fight begins. I don't want to ruin this moment by rambling, so let's just enjoy the atmosphere of this epic face-off. Well, as you can see, this fight is very easy after the DLCs. I wasn't even trying to play carefully and I still won first strike quite easily. But I think that's okay. It was nice just to focus on the vibes, especially with the second phase and Quinn's theme in the background music. And thus, our journey ends as I link the fire once again. Now I know there are other endings in this game, and in other Dark Souls as well. But I just like to burn away. Maybe someday I'll replay this trilogy and do the other endings, who knows. Dark Souls 3 was definitely awesome experience and game. Though as this was my first playthrough, it got me mentally pretty drained. But that's how it was for me when I played Dark Souls 1 and 2 through very first time as well. After one playthrough I enjoyed these games much more. Anyway, I'm not gonna start making reviews or comparisons to this video, this has dragged on long enough already. Thank you all for watching this video all the way here. If you enjoyed, remember to leave a like to the video and tell me in the comments your thoughts about this game and from other Soulspawn games as well. Also, let me know if you want to see more Soulspawn videos here on the channel. I'm gonna take a bit of break from these games now though, but I still have yet to play Demon's Souls, Bloodborne and Elden Ring. Well, Sekiro as well, but I guess that is not really a Soulspawn game. But I will probably play those as well here on the channel at some point. Also, if you're new viewer here, remember to subscribe to support the channel. Also, if you want to go extra hard with the support, you can leave a super like to the video. But hey, that's all. And as always, I will see you with all the future videos. For now, it's a bye bye.